I'm very excited for today because we have another amazing guest and we have a lot of really practical workflow tips, which I think is the most useful with AI, not just learning different tools, but how to actually apply them. And I'm really looking forward to showing all of that today.
Hey Maria, how are you?
Hello, yeah, this is our guest. This is Hamza. I
Yeah.
was about to introduce.
Uh,
Thank you so much for joining.
you're
You're
welcome.
at your office right now, right? You said.
Yeah, it's 6 p.m., so my office ends at 5:30, so I thought I'll just join from work.
Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time after your busy
Mm.
work day. I'm very
So
excited
I,
for
I
this.
I saw your things about Scala Social, so I thought I'll ask you like what is it about and how does it helps architecture firms or other architects to market themselves or to put the word out what they're doing?
Oh yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
my business. I it's been in the planning for 6 months and it recently launched. It's the first social media agency specifically for architects by architects. So we're a group of architecture students and practicing architects that also are very like tech Instagram savvy. And together we work with architects there's different tariffs, but we help build their social media brand. We also have social media managing where we create posts for them, content, and we also provide training for architecture studios that might also already have an marketing team, but don't really know how to do social media. Yeah, so we basically do the whole social media teaching and training and helping to any architect, no matter if you're a small firm, big firm, if you're just on your own starting out. We do our best to help. Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
sounds good.
yeah, you can find this. I'll also drop it in the chat later, but you can find it
Hmm.
on Instagram. It's scala.social. And there's also a website with the same name, scalasocial.com is the website.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you for asking about that. I
No,
think
no, you're welcome. No, I was just curious because I have not seen. I think it's a bit a smart idea as well. I've not seen any business out there like that. Maybe there is, but I don't know about it.
I
But
don't,
so I
yeah,
thought, yeah, I thought it's very interesting.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I just saw the need for it, and like in every single job I've had, it's always been about like, oh, how do we do this Instagram thing? And I think it's time
yeah. I
to
think
teach.
the if like projects in architecture, you usually get them from what I understand through context or how if you know a developer, if you
Mhm.
have good context, that is I think how you get new projects. So Instagram is definitely one way to get to those people. And I know there's LinkedIn as well. And I can
Yeah,
see a lot of developers and a lot of people I work with. I know they are there on LinkedIn. And when I post on LinkedIn, and they always come and ask me about it. So
yeah,
I think it's good. You can use those platforms to reach out if you looking for new projects and clients.
100%. It's super important
Yeah.
in today's day and age, like brand build. And then people find you like very easily on Instagram. I can tell from experience, like I've gotten jobs and opportunities through just people knowing me from my social media. So I think that's a really cool thing. But we're talking about everything today. I really like how this is starting. I
Yeah, that's
think
good. Yeah.
we might like just not to take up anyone's time too much. I think I might just go ahead and start with the introduction. So
Mhm.
here you go, guys. Welcome to AI and Architecture 101. This is the fourth time we're doing this iteration, and today it's all about how to use AI as an actual real design tool. And we're joined by the amazing Hamza Khan. He's an architect at Cox Architecture in
Mhm.
Australia, and just a super cool professional. I will tell you about him a little bit more in 1 second. But here's a little bit about today's flow. We first have the guest talk, like always, with Hamza. Then we're gonna go into my real workflow. So how I do student projects with AI, what I think the best workflow is, and just some general tips. Then we're going to have a new segment that was actually requested by some of you last time, which is the live prompt clinic, where we fix your prompts and help you achieve better prompting in order to create visualizations. And then obviously we also have the Q&A as always. So let me remind everyone again why we do these workshops. I like to say this every time just so everyone knows we're not just like trying to replace architects with AI. So AI is really not just hype anymore. It's been in every office I've been in. Everyone's talking about it, everyone's using it, and it's super important tool to navigate the next generation of design iterations and visual storytelling we will do as architects. It also is very important for like speed and clarity. And I think just you can look at it as what AutoCAD was 50 years ago. This is what I think will be now. So that's why we're taking the time to learn it together. And the goal is to basically turn AI into your daily creative tool. So, as I just said, part one will be by our guest, who's Hamza. Hamza is an architect at Cox Architecture in Australia. He has 12 plus years of experience in culture and public projects, which is amazing. So, this is, guys, I'm not joking when I say I try to get the most interesting and coolest guests I can, because this Hamza has like incredible experience. You can follow him on LinkedIn. I will drop it
Yeah,
in the chat later as
when you
well.
say 12 years, it makes me feel old, but
No, 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 no. It's not old, it's professional.
yeah.
No, I'm seriously, I've been following Hamza on LinkedIn for a while, and I've been so impressed with everything he
Mm,
posts. He's also been shortlisted for an incredible competition lately. You can read all
mm.
about that on LinkedIn as well. So I'm just going to do a little promotion for you there because you are
Yeah, yeah.
really
Thank you very
incredible.
much.
And he's been posting a lot about AI research and how he implements it. So I just reached out and I said, hey, do you want to teach us? And he said, yes, of course. And since then, he's already shocked me with all the AI promotion he's been doing for
Yeah.
this workshop. So I'm very excited. And I think
Uh,
without further ado, I can actually give it over to Hamza. Hamza, thank you so much again for joining us. I'm so excited.
yeah, thank you, Maria, for the amazing introduction. So I have two computers over here, so I'll just use my other home computer to share my screen.
Go ahead. Take your time.
Can we do that? Like talk in a different computer, but share screen on the other one, or it has to be one?
I think it should work if you can just screen share
I'll
to the
try
correct
sharing. Yeah.
computer. Yeah. On mine it works, I think. But let me allow you.
Do you have a request?
Yes, I just admitted. I'll just go ahead and drop Hamza's credential in the chat for now. So all of you can follow him on LinkedIn, especially. I think that's super useful. You're welcome, Hassan. You're all
Yeah.
welcome.
Okay. Awesome.
Cool.
Cool. So I'll just start with. Uh, I've. Sorry, 1 second. I'm getting a echo over here.
Mhm.
Can you hear me now? All good.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So I've taken. There are a lot of AI tools over there, but my understanding is that this session is more about some AI towards beginners because as the session said that it is architecture AI 101. So I have aimed to provide information to people like it is your day one on AI. You have seen all those images on internet and you're trying to understand like where to start is day one. And so that is why I have divided my presentation in three parts. The first part, I'll focus on the free AI tools that are there. And then the second part, I want to talk about Midjourney because there's a lot of following on AI on Midjourney, and there's a big community who likes Midjourney, and they share a lot of tutorials and a lot of Midjourney images. And the last part, I want to slightly touch on using coding to do some parametric architecture. I know some people are very good at Grasshopper, probably here as well, but I think we can use AI to do coding. I have three brothers and all are in IT and they tell me you can use ChatGPT to write codes and they do that too at work. And
Whoa.
then you can get some sliders and you can have some parameters over there to design your form. And you can also add in a button to export your geometry into Rhino and you can probably scale it, change it based on your project requirements. So it's just, I think there's because of AI is available, so we also might have a replacement for Grasshopper, not just imagery. So I'll talk about imagery in the beginning, and towards the end, I'll just touch on that because I want an overview of different things you can do with AI. So later on, if there's another workshop, we can go into detail to see what people are interested in, and we can probably go into detail towards those topics.
Definitely.
So, so there were, a while back, I did few images. I imagine AIs as robots. So these are the different AI names you can see. Like there's a one called Kriya AI, one is by Google Whisk, and OpenAI is very good because it's just one platform where you can try a different tools. So they have bring together all the different AI tools on one platform, so you can use on OpenArt AI. And Vidu is very good for videos or animations. So if somebody, even in office, when they ask me what AI tool do I use, it's not a one-word answer. You're always jumping around in different AI tools. Some are very good with images, like Midjourney is very good in those stylistic images. Some are very good with ultra realistic renders. Some are good with animation. So it depends what your purpose is, why are you using AI, and what is the output you're looking for towards the end. There are few more. I'll just quickly mention their names. You can probably, I've used all of them. You can also use them. Like the first sign up is free. They allow you to use some of them initially in the beginning. There's a limit to how much you can use, but you can just to try it out. If you're new to AI, you can try them out. Just sign up on their website and you can start using all of them. So obviously there's Midjourney, there's Kling AI, which is quite famous, and Google VO and Dream Studio. I think Dream Studio I've used is quite good for to transfer another render style onto your render. I found it quite good for that. So I'll just quickly today. My first session is about. I'll talk about Google, three AIs, three different AIs by Google. One is LabFX, and the other is Whisk, and third one is Google View. I think the reason for choosing these ones are for this because I think they are free to use. You can write as many prompts as you want, and it's all for free. Oh, I don't know what that line is.
I don't know either.
Yeah, okay, okay, I think it's gone. So, so just how AI works, I think this is very simple explanation. I think in the background they have a lot of images, and there are some keywords assigned to those images. So when you write your prompt here, it just refers back to those images and it just generates a new image based on all the images it has in its database. I think this is very simply if you want to explain what it is. Now, if I want to write, like, I can start writing over here, design me a 5-story building in Melbourne because I'm from Melbourne. So you can just click create and it will probably generate 4 images for you. The good thing about this one is I have used this a lot in past and I like it because it's free, it's easy to use on your phone. And when I have some initial ideas, I can just start using this. So I just write random words like design me a 5-story building in Melbourne. And in terms of prompt, just quickly, ChatGPT is very good to write prompt. So if you go to ChatGPT, just close this one. If you go to ChatGPT and ask AI prompt for following building, and then and you can ask ChatGPT how to improve. So ChatGPT adds a bit of detail, and then you can edit your prompt. I want it to be realistic. So it's just telling you like initially we can write our own prompt, but the good thing about ChatGPT is like if you read this prompt, it starts adding all that detail like inner city Melbourne, ground floor features, transparent glass, retail fronts. I just gave it a basic statement. It just added a lot of things on its own, and it added the photorealistic style, high level street perspective. So sometimes if you don't know where to start, you can ask ChatGPT to improve on your prompts. And what happens if we copy back ChatGPT prompts come in? I think it's quite similar, but we are getting close. Like it has added a lot more detail. It has added some people. We can see some retail over here. It's sort of 4 to 5 story building. Yeah. So just to let you know, like just with few prompts, you can start generating these images. Now there's some ups and downs of using image FX. If you like an image, you can probably download that image, and you cannot make edits to this image using this, but it's a good starter tool just to get your head around what is a prompt and where to write a like what is a prompt, how to get an output, and how you can use ChatGPT to edit your prompts or probably improve them. I saved some nice prompts over here. AI workshop notes. So I made some notes. I just and this AI in the background, which is working on ChatGPT, is called Imagine 4. So if somebody mentions Imagine 4, the AI in the background, which is working, is actually this, but the platform is called ImageFX. Let's see what comes now. So it depends on a lot of iterations of your design. Like if I have some initial ideas, I'll just write some initial prompts and then I'll just start building on that prompt later on. So I've done this, so some of the posts I've shared online are I've done in this image FX. So there's another thing called try whisk, that button on top. It gives you slightly more control on your output. You can add a subject, you can add a text, you can add a scene, or you can add a style. The downside is you don't have control of how much style, scene, or subject is affecting your final output. So we can add a similar prompt here. So I'll just do new chat. So see, even though the AI working in the background is same, but because a different platform, so the result is giving me slightly different than the previous one. Now this one allows slightly more flexibility. You can click on refine and you can start adding more things. Make it snow. Let's see what happens. So it's a lot of iterations you can try. Like the reason I chose this to discuss, like there were a lot I showed in the beginning, because they are all for free. You can, and they are from Google. So I trust everybody, I think, has a Gmail and I trust Google. So I think you can easily do them on your phone while you're traveling on train. So when I'm on train and I have an idea and I want to test it out. So I'll just probably just go to this one because it says a nice platform and it's easy to use. I didn't, something went wrong. Anyhow, so just you have an option where you can refine the image you have further using this one, and then there's another option of videos you can try and sorry, I think my internet connection dropped on the other phone. I'll just connect again.
That's okay, no worries. It's really interesting. I've actually never heard of those AIs that you just showed. Maybe
Yeah, I
it's
know,
a
because
Europe thing.
yeah, a lot of people just focus on a lot of other things, but I think they are a very good tool if you are starting out.
Very cool.
I'll just try to share again. You can see my screen, right?
I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So we have talked about two AI tools here. One is because I want to do an overview, I want to touch on few things. I want to start from the slightly beginner level and then start to build on to slightly advanced things. Oh my God. So I'll just quickly talk about Google View. This is free in the beginning they give you what they call 1,000 credits. So I have a free version here. So they give you up to 1,000 credits and you can use this to animate things. Where is it? Scene builder. So this platform is called flow, and you can use this to use Google VEO2 or VEO3. You can generate your images through text to video, or you can do frames to video. Frames to video is probably where you have your own image. Cancel, generate, upload image. I agree. So the image we just created in the other one, Lab FX, is the image. So it's just loading the image.
Mhm. Whoa, I didn't hear about that either yet.
Oh,
I've
you didn't
only
know
heard
about
of the
Google Viewer?
I heard about it, but I didn't think that architects were using it. I know what I tested last time was Pika AI, which is also like where you can animate renders. That's what some
Oh
people
yeah.
have been telling me, but this one is cool. I didn't know architects can use it.
Yeah. I I
Is
I,
this what
I
you
like
created, the
Google.
cool videos for
I,
for
I
your
like
LinkedIn?
I like Google and Gmail stuff because it's a big company, and I think I trust Google for sharing, because sometimes you're putting up your personal stuff, trying to animate them. So I just
No, I
prefer,
agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the Google. I know there are a lot of new AI tools coming out looks like every day, and I get messages from some people with a new AI company. Can you please try our AI and
Really?
generate some, yeah, to generate some content? So I tried it, but then I was like, I just, because um, my focus is because I'm an architect, so I just keep focus on architecture.
Mhm.
So I just use it for fun after work. So I can write a basic time lapse of people walking, breeze through trees. I'll keep a simple for now and just see what happens. So I'll just quickly explain the difference between VO2 and VO3. VO2 is no audio as it shows over here. VO3 adds a bit of audio to it. So you can add some command about add sound of breeze. So if you see, a lot of people have done a lot of stuff using VO2 and 3. They add a lot of dialogues. You'll see AI people talking. So I think most of that is coming from VO3. I've
Oh,
not seen an
really?
AI where people can do dialogues and stuff.
Hmm.
I did a rap song using VO3. I thought I just
You're like taking
oh
this to the next level.
yeah.
I don't know what's
I
going
just
on. That's crazy. Can you please
uh,
show one of the promotion videos too that you did for the workshop? Those are crazy. I was like, how did you even do that?
oh yeah, this one. I created this one. Uh, it's just stuck for some reasons. I think so. I created this video using. So that can you hear the sound? Oh no, it's
I
playing on my
can't.
other computer.
Yeah.
So I used this video, and you can see there's a kangaroo doing lip sync. So you can see they're talking and their dialogues, their everything. You can see this on my profile. So I created this using Google VO3. So I wrote the song using ChatGPT. You can see the subtitles. And then I used Google VO3 to make this whole animation.
Whoa.
It sounds, when you see it, it seems very impressive, but if you know the tools, it's very easy to do.
Whoa. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so I just clicked on this, just ask it to animate people and trees. Let's see what it did. So AI does not also see we created an image. Now we went to VO3 and it is animating the people. The camera is slightly moving. So it creates, because it just does 8-second animations. So if you want to do longer, you can click extend. But what I have noticed is, instead of using extend, if you take a screenshot of your last frame and then click do again, you can just keep extending your video. So that works better because it has an extend function, but that doesn't always work very nicely.
Okay.
And then you have these options here. You can do full screen, you can download, and I think you can upscale your video as well. There's an option for upscale somewhere. Yeah. So just and these are a little bit of about camera movements you can choose, which are by default in VO3 or VO2, and you can add your own camera movement over here if you want. Just let me know if I'm going too fast because I'm on a third AI tool. I just
No,
don't want to go through
I
things very
understand
quickly.
it. I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
I do you have you ever like because right now obviously we're using like an AI generated image to create the animation. Have you ever
yeah,
tried
yeah, yeah.
using like an actual render that you did and then try to animate it? Like how did that work? Or did you ever try doing that?
Oh yeah, I think you can animate pretty much anything.
Hmm.
I have a render I've on my I'll, I'm referring back to my LinkedIn because I've shared a lot of the work I do on my LinkedIn.
Yeah, I posted
So I
it in the chat already so people can see it.
yeah, so I have done this. I did went for a design another design competition. So there was a basic render. So this is my render, right? So I use Google VO3 to animate this render. So I told
Wow.
it I want a dog. A person walks towards the dog and just pets the dog. So my original render was from D5. I used Dream Studio AI to transfer another render style onto my render, and then I used Google VO3 to animate this. It does not have any sound, it's just this animation. So
Wow.
this is all done using VO3. So I had a base. So the first image you see, the first frame is my base render.
Hmm.
So this was my actual base image, and Google VO3 or the Flow platform is just animated and added a dog, is just animated the rest of it. So answer to your question, yes, I have used my own renders to animate them. You can animate, I think you can pretty much animate anything. I've also animated my own pictures. So
Yeah, I
you
saw.
can pretty much, yeah.
This is can I just ask you like how did you even get to experimenting with AI so much? Because like I see you do stuff like every day. You post something almost about like AI or
Oh,
you experimenting. How did you get to this stage?
yeah, I think my AI journey started mostly because uh, I live my train ride from work to office is about 15 minutes to work and 15 minutes back. So I was bored of watching movies on phone all day. So I just started so I just started looking because I used to use LinkedIn and Insta and I used to see all these very nice images. So I
Mhm.
started looking into AI on train. I would just spend time on train and never at home. So whenever I have 40 to 50 minutes on train, I'll just start looking through different AI things, different tools. So the Google AI I shared in the beginning, I use this one because it's easy to use on phone. So any idea I'll have, and I use this for like 2 months. Any idea I'll have, just start putting some text in, and it will generate some nice imagery. I'll keep updating my prompt and keep building on it. And usually, this tool is very good to create photorealistic renders. Like even though this doesn't look very photorealistic, but it's very good for those purposes.
Mhm.
And I also want to say that a lot of content online on AI is about generating renders. But I think, like, even your slide in the beginning, you talked about AI being your creative partner or design partner. I think there are other things you can use to have nice renders, like D5. I think
Yeah,
Maria has done some tutorials on that in
I'm gonna
past.
show it today again.
Yeah, okay. So I think D5 is very good to create your renders, especially in real world practice, because in real world, you also want to show context. Want to show your neighbors. You want to talk about shadows. You want to talk about views from your apartment or views from different floors. So AI is good at nice imagery, but maybe this is my building, but this is not my context. My building could be in New York, but same building could be in New York. So it's very difficult for AI to predict your site or to have the exact site you want. So it's good for nice imagery. It's good for brainstorming new ideas, but I think in for practical purposes, you can use it for rendering. But if you are using your Rhino model and then using AI to render it, there's one way to do it. But I think D5 is much better in a lot of ways, and it can also you can use D5 to have more, like you can do night views. It's just one button. You can do very nice night views, or you can use AI on top to improve the quality of your renders. So if Maya is doing that tutorial, you should definitely hang around for that tutorial, because for to run. render your models, I think D5 is still a better tool. Instead of spending a lot of time on AI and still not getting the results you want, D5 gives you a lot more control, and the quality of renders like can be better than this sometimes. Like this is
Mm.
pretty good in terms of render, but could be even better than this.
You know what I found recently? Because I've also been really annoyed with this context situation that you were talking about,
Hmm.
that it just puts the building between random other buildings. I
Yeah, yeah,
found,
yeah.
so I use, what you're using this whisk thing for, I use Adobe Firefly. And there you
Hmm.
can add like two reference images now. So I add a Google Street View of my context, and then I
Oh,
add
yeah.
my 3D model as the
We-
second reference image, and then I tell it to
Yeah.
place it into the context. And it actually worked pretty well. I did it for my AI course last semester, no, the semester before last that I had, and it worked
Yeah,
pretty good. So there's ways
yeah.
around it. It's obviously not perfect, but I think it's like every time I
But
read something online about it, I'm like shocked how what's
but
going
I
on.
think the good thing about having your own model is you can do as many views as you
Yes,
want. Like
yes.
sometimes your client wants something to change, and like he wants a small change. He just wants to change color of maybe this metal part over here. So if you have D5, you can quickly drop another material. But if you're doing AI, sometimes things can get tricky to get the exact same output from AI. Like you can do Photoshop, but then what's the purpose of AI?
Yeah,
Like so,
there's no point. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I would just say that if you know your design, if you have clarity on what you want, then I think D5 is a better tool. But if you are in the very beginning phase of your design, you're still brainstorming ideas, you don't know what you're doing, you have a lot of ideas. So AI is, I think, is good for that. It is a good design partner, but in terms of rendering tool, I think you have so much computing power, you shouldn't just use it for rendering. There's a lot of other things you can use AI for.
Have you
So
used it for
I
anything else like architecture related except renders? Or are you talking about just like in general, you can
no
use it
no
for other stuff?
I've done a design competitions like I've seen. So I've used AI to refine my ideas more. Like I'll have some
Mm.
idea, and obviously traditionally you'll sketch something, or you'll probably go to a 3D software. You spend like 2 or 3 days, and then you'll be like, oh, I don't like this. So instead of doing that, if you have some AI tool, you can quickly write a prompt. If you can describe your idea in Word, this also helps you to develop it more, obviously. And then after you have done that, you can just try different images and you're like, oh, maybe I was thinking my building should look like a butterfly, or I don't like this anymore. I want it to look like something else. So it's good to quickly go do a lot of iterations in the beginning.
Mhm.
And as you are more firm on what you want, then I think you can go to Rhino or SketchUp, and definitely use D5 is a very good rendering engine. Like I've used Twinmotion, Lumion, and all of that, but D5 has that AI feature in it that sets it apart from all the other rendering engines, I think.
Yeah, I agree 100%. D5
Mm.
should sponsor me at this point. How much I talk about them.
Yeah.
Literally, like every time I bring it up, it's like D5, D5,
Yeah.
D5. Someone reach out to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I messaged Midjourney. I was like, oh,
Oh,
I've
you
post
did?
so much stuff. Yeah, they're like, oh, we don't have any ambassador
Oh
program at the
no.
moment. And
Damn it.
D5 was looking had a survey, and they were like, if you make a recommendation, they'll give you a free D5 for a month. So I made them a recommendation to add a measuring tool, because I thought whenever I'm working in D5, it's very difficult to take measurements of the things you are, because sometimes you can generate a box or a cube in D5.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to measure that thing,
Oh, I think they
and
added that. I
oh,
saw
have
it.
they? Yeah,
I think
I made
so,
a
yeah.
suggestion.
I
Oh,
think
I
they
was
did. I
told.
was just opening it today, yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't tried the latest
You
version,
get that
but
bag from
yeah,
D5.
but they gave me 1 month free license because they liked my idea, so they gave me 1 month free license. I'm like, yes. And I was telling someone in office, if you see a measuring tool in D5, it's probably because I suggested that.
I
I don't
think
know.
they added it. I'm serious. I'm gonna show D5 later today in this workshop,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
think they
sure.
did. I was looking at all
Yeah.
the new features. Whoa,
Oh, that's good.
well, we all
Yeah,
have to say thank you, Hamza, for that.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I didn't know they are because I haven't used D5 in few months, so it's good to know that.
Oh my gosh. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Uh, oh,
What happened now?
I think my screen has gone pink for some reason.
I don't
That
know, but
I'll
it's
share
fine.
again. I don't know what happened.
That's the problem with Zoom. Sometimes something crazy happens, and I'm like, how do I stop
Uh,
this? Yeah.
is this the first time, or is it has it happened
Eh,
before as well?
No, it's some people like do some stuff before, or like play something loud. It's fine. I'm working
Okay.
on it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but
S-
that was
So,
amazing. Like I didn't know about anything you showed yet except like VO3, which I heard about. But
mhm.
that's really
Yeah.
cool.
So all the three tools I've talked about till now are from Google. So they are easy to use. They are, you can trust them, and all of them are for free. Google VO allows one like 1,000 AI credits for free. Like if you're using very basic animation, you can do like 100 animations using a free account. So that's it. So secondly, I'll touch on Midjourney. I think Maria has probably talked about Midjourney before as well. So I think Midjourney is a very good tool, and there's a very big community who loves Midjourney. They share a lot of content about Midjourney, and it's famous for a reason because it allows you to do a lot of things that other AI tools don't allow you to do. I'll quickly talk about different subscriptions if somebody is new, like what is available and what you can get. So there's a $10 basic plan. If you're if you're a student, obviously you want to use free AI tools, but after you have used those free tools and you're still interested to do more, so I think you can head towards Midjourney. You can try all the tools. Maybe you like something else better, but I Midjourney has recently made added a lot of new things into their in Midjourney. So I'll just quickly talk about different subscriptions. One is $10, $30, and $60 per month. I prefer this $30 plan because it allows you unlimited generations if you are using a relaxed mode. So if you have unlimited generations, I think that is more than enough anyone needs. So in terms of Midjourney, this is where you write your prompt. I have already was testing some prompt yesterday, and you can just write, we can try the same prompt form we use over here and see what Midjourney gives us. I should have used. So in Midjourney, you have this menu because you can do fast and turbo. So I'll just quickly do turbo in this one just to get my image out. So the difference between all these three is like relax is obviously slow. Fast gives uses more of your Midjourney minutes, but it gives you a fast output, and then turbo is obviously the fastest one. So same prompt, different AI tool gives me a very different output.
Mm.
And I'm just going through because it generates 4 images at once. So I'm just showing quickly the 4 images it generated. So probably we're like, okay, we like this one. So Midjourney is more like a one-stop shop where you can generate imagery, which gives you a lot of control over your images, but also you can animate your images. Like there are a few options here. You can vary your images slightly, upscale them, do a remix if you want to zoom in a bit. And then I'll just quickly do a animation. You can click, you can auto animate, or you can write your own prompt and do animations if you want. But for architecture, I've seen auto some mostly works very well because in architecture, you just want to animate context. Buildings are usually stationary where they are. And we'll just see what it's doing. So Maria, have you done any tutorials on Midjourney before?
I tested it in I think the second workshop, but I
Mm-hmm.
think I was also trying to test. They have like animation feature now where you can do video from Midjourney, and I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to do that workflow. But I think I personally like I don't really use Midjourney. I don't know why I just like settled in with Adobe Firefly because for me it's easier to control the
Mm-hmm,
perspective that I want in the end. But I see a lot of like architects using Midjourney to create these crazy renders. But there's a
mm-hmm.
one-off. I feel like if when I like one render from Midjourney, what do I do with it if I like want to fix it?
Oh
If
yeah.
there's anything I need to change.
Yeah, Midjourney has that thing where you don't have a lot of control sometimes over your or the output. Like if you like an image, it's very difficult to start changing it. But then if you are doing if you like, because architects like those very stylistic images or renders, we don't always like realistic renders, so Midjourney is good for that. So I'll
Mhm.
just quickly show the animation it did. Like we created an image, and just in few seconds we are already animating what the output we have.
Cool.
And Midjourney has previously added some new features, which is called loop. Loop is the end frame will be your start frame, your end frame will be your start frame. So it will do few things and will come back to your start frame. That is the loop feature. And the other, you can add a different image from for end frame. So so your imagery is transformed from, sorry, I'll just show if I do this. I think I've already done and this. So I have selected a different image as my start frame and a different image for my end frame. So now Midjourney will go from this image to this image in within 5 seconds. So obviously, if this images are related to each other, you'll get a good output. If you do something very crazy, like very different images, then it does not know what to do with it. So you
Mhm.
can have like images of two buildings in two different views of a same building, and you can add a start and end frame, and Midjourney can take a journey from there to there. It can end your animation on that image. So just quickly, I just want to tell you what Midjourney can do, and then there is this explore if you're looking for some inspiration and you don't know what you want. You can just look at different images because Midjourney has this big community where you can go through different images and you can look at the prompt they have used, or you can edit that prompt to what you want. Like there are also a lot of different ways. Like you can do a lot of tutorials in Midjourney, like what it can do and what cannot. But for today, I just want to touch on like there's this Midjourney and things you can do with it. And once you have tried those free AI tools, you can probably try Midjourney out and see if this is something for you. Like as Maria mentioned, she prefers Firefly because that gives her more control. Obviously, that is what she prefers. And I've seen people use Comfy UI and Flux context a lot,
Mhm.
and that is quite good because it gives you a lot more control over your output. But that is, I think, slightly advanced for should will be slightly advanced for some users because I've tried Comfy UI. It takes a lot of time to download different nodes and different things it wants to download, so it takes a lot of time, and it does not have this nice looking user interface as well. And I think the very powerful thing about Midjourney is it allows you to personalize or create different mood boards. You can go into Midjourney and start selecting different images you like. So Maria could have different preferences than me, and when Midjourney gives you an output, you can you can turn on your profile on from here, select personalization. You can turn it on, and the images it will produce will be based on the images you have chose here. Now it tries to understand what you like, the colors you like, the composition you like, and based on what you have selected over here, it will try to produce images when you turn the personalization thing on. So that is why if Maya uses the same prompt or same settings as me, she might get a different result because her personalization images he has selected are different than what I have selected. So I think this is how Midjourney becomes slightly powerful, that not everybody is getting same images, so everybody can have their own outputs. So
Mhm.
that is why I think Midjourney is slightly good in those things. And I think I just want to quickly touch on retexture because we are architects and sometimes we like to render plans. So I've found Midjourney to be very good at rendering plans. You can do it. I don't know if any other AI tool. Have you used Maria any other thing which can do this?
Render plans.
AI render plans, just 2D plans or 3D
I first,
images.
I don't remember what it's called, but a company once reached out to me that specializes in that, but not that I haven't used any yet. I think Kriya can actually render master plans. The last time I tried.
Ah, okay. Yeah, with this tool, I didn't have much success in master plans, but with apartment plans or a whole building floor plan, you can just write a, like you can see there's a prompt here. You can add a style reference you like from internet, or you can use image prompts, and it can render a floor plan very quickly. Just you come to retexture, you click submit retexture, and it can just render different layouts, different floor finishes, and render your plans very quickly. I just want to share some of the things Midjourney can do for you, like because we are architects and sometimes we have client presentations and not enough time to render plans. So I think Midjourney is very good. You can just take your plan, upload in Midjourney, and just very quickly have some nice presentations to show to the clients.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And and also this is also good if you have a nice image, like if you have a 3D render, but you don't want it to be very realistic. So it's also good for that to change it to some nice render image. I'll just show you something I've done. Sorry, I'll just do so this is a building. I generated this image in Midjourney of this building, and then I use retexture to get different feels for this image. This is not very accurate, but this one you can so we don't always like photorealistic renders. So this is good to create these kind of concept images or white card renders, because sometimes you don't want to show a lot of detail, but you just want to show what your meshing looks like. So it's good to create this retexture feature, picks up your lines, and it goes to have these kind of imagery. If I think they are good for get look and feel, because you don't always want to show what your final, because when you talk about materials and colors, it sometimes confuses clients and other architects because they start to think this is the final output. So these sort of white card renders are very good to just show your meshing and your concept, and then materials can come in later. Yeah, so I think my first part was the free AI tools. The second part was about Midjourney. And the third part, I just quickly want to touch on. I think that I just will do a basic one. Like how I was talking about, you can use ChatGPT to do some coding, and you can create some parametric form using ChatGPT. So
Oh, wow.
so I can just share. There's another app I think which is better than ChatGPT. It's called lovable.dev. It's better in a way that you can see your output. I think in a paid ChatGPT version, you can do that. You can see your code live playing on the right screen. But I'll just do this over here. What I have asked it to do is, you can see, I think you cannot see my screen. There's something again with the Zoom.
I just see the ChatGPT right now, but yeah, maybe
Yeah, I
resharing
think
works.
my connection has dropped. So just give me a moment. Sorry.
That's okay, no worries. For me, always the AI stops working as soon as I'm doing this workshop. I had this with the
Yeah.
animation last time. It took
Yeah.
like 30 minutes to animate one like 3-second clip, and I was like, God damn
Yeah.
it. Every
Uh-huh.
time. Okay, now
So
I see ChatGPT. Yep.
yeah, so I write in ChatGPT, write me a P5 JavaScript that creates an array of elliptical floors arranged in, like we all use 3D software, so we know what is X, Y, and Z axis. So in Z axis, with each floor drawn in XY plane, and add a UI, means user interface, with wireframe, add solid render modes and slide control variables. So ChatGPT is thinking right now. I don't know why it's taking, my internet is so slow today. There you go. So this app is just like ChatGPT. You can write your text here, same text here, but it's good in a way you don't have to go into another JavaScript software to run your code. You can just it can just do it over here for you.
Mm.
It's ChatGPT is still thinking. So it's thinking thought for 10 seconds and it's doing something. And after it gives you an output, you can add more sliders to it. Like you want to, for example, change floor thickness, or you want to add balconies to it. You can keep asking it to do it. You can keep writing add balconies, add this, add that, and to start adding to it. It's just up to you. There comes a time if you go too far, the code will start to break. So I think you have to stop at some point. But then I just want to show that with AI, it can also do coding for you. So we might be able to not use to get rid of grasshopper. I think grasshopper. Uh,
But what do you
so
then
let's
do
see.
with it? So it gives you a code and then you put it where? In
It
Grasshopper?
just no. You can. It generates a form for you. No, it does not
Oh,
generate a
okay,
yeah
okay, I see. Yeah.
because it's using JavaScript in the background, JavaScript code, and it's using JavaScript to generate a form with some parameters. So you'll see when it generates something over here, just taking some time. I think
It's fine.
ChatGPT is also
Oh,
thinking.
that's really interesting. Is this form then, can you like look at it? Like, is it downloadable or is it just like
Oh
a
yeah.
preview?
In past, I have asked it to add a button for me to export the form to Rhino. It does that, but I had some problems with the geometry in the end wasn't very accurate, or it was just giving me points. So I can pick those points and generate planes or surfaces from it.
Mm.
But then it's just something I want to show, like because of AI, we are using AI to do all that nice imagery, but you can also use it to generate forms or for form finding. I know for parametric architecture, Grasshopper seems to be the place where people go. You have all those number sliders and all those things you can do. But I think uh, by using AI and these tools, you can just write text and you can still do parametric architecture. You don't really have to learn Grasshopper.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just wait if ChatGPT or that responds me first. That response first from me.
They're thinking.
Yeah,
That's super interesting. And you use that to like test how a form will look. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah. So it generated something random over here, but that's not what I wanted though.
Oh, but you can adjust it. That's cool.
Yeah, so we have some parameters over here. Wireframe. So you can see it's slightly, I have to adjust the planes. It's going in.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
see what ChatGPT generates for me. So ChatGPT writes a code like this, which is a JavaScript code. So you have to go to another JavaScript software to copy and paste. It's called P5JS. You can copy and paste it over here and generates this form for me, right? So it looks like
Oh.
floor, just very thin floor plates. And then it gives me some sliders. Oh, I think it just usually at the bottom. Right. I'll just zoom out a bit so we can see sliders and screen together, right?
Mhm.
So you can add number of floors, you can reduce number of floors, you can twist your building more, you can increase floor spacing, like you can increase floor. I'll just move the form closer. I know because I just wanted to touch on different things. I don't want to confuse anybody, like we're talking about image generation and now we're doing coding at the end, but I just want to touch on different things you can use with AI because AI understands our text, so we can generate all these different things. Now it's just increasing the floor depth, floor width, and then we have this. So, and it shows me a wireframe, right? So I'll quickly show a video. I quickly show another tower, another render I did. I used this coding to generate a nice form I liked. So I've done few videos. So I'll just quickly show this one. So I've used ChatGPT to generate a code, and then I had all these parameters I could control. So I've done a quick tutorial online. I'll just run that video. So you can see I have few, so I can change the twist. I spent a lot of time on it to get it right. And then I added a button towards the end, export Rhino. So I got these points in Rhino. So I was thinking I could join these points to generate a surface. And then I use Midjourney to render this form into different images and obviously animate towards the end.
Whoa.
So Yeah. So I think because a lot of people talk about imagery, but you can also use AI for finding nice form or for parametric form. You don't always have to. y- Oh, I think if it because you can it gives you a lot of power, a lot of control because if you can use this is also using coding. So I took from one tower to four. I wanted to see how far can I push it, and then there was a point where the core started to break. So I started from a basic form there because I usually share my content online, so I just take screenshots and do it. But if you are doing in a real world project, you can add that button to export into Rhino, and you can start changing your form manually in Rhino after you know what you want. And I
Wow.
have codes for these forms. If anybody wants, I'm happy to share them.
I wanted. I haven't
Yeah,
seen this before. I actually,
yeah,
that's what I said this like just when I started doing this whole like AI studying thing. Like, I wish there was an AI that could like 3D model for me because I think that's the most difficult part, like creating an accurate
yeah,
3D
yeah,
model
yeah.
that you can then use
Mm,
as a reference for the AI. But like, what do you do
yeah.
if you can't 3D model? Like, thank God I'm in the position now to 3D model. But like,
Hmm.
if I was just starting out, if I'm like a first year, second year student maybe you don't know yet and having now this like coding that you can do and it gives you
Yeah,
like
coding. Yeah, yeah.
that's
And
so
you
cool.
don't really, because I don't know any coding, I'll just use ChatGPT because my brothers are in IT and they told me ChatGPT can do coding. And I know in uni I remember doing a course where we were learning coding for finding form. But then when ChatGPT came, and I know it can do coding, I know we can use JavaScript. You can also do Python within Grasshopper, but then if ChatGPT is coding for you, just tell it what you want. I want a twist tower, and then you tell it where the flows should be, and you want to add some controls so you can change your form so it's all parametric. And after that, yeah, you can take it to Rhino. It can just add a button towards the end, and you can take it to Rhino to make some slight modifications towards the end.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
so I think I've taken up a lot of time. So I just wanted to go from a basic level where you have this basic free tool that everybody can use. Especially, I think a lot of students follow Maria. So students don't always want to spend a lot of money on very expensive AI tools. So I just want to touch on those basic free tools which are available to everybody for free. Some animations you can do for free for your university project. And then you can, if you want to spend a little bit of money, I like Midjourney personally, especially the new animation features it has added makes it very easy to do animations in it. But if Maria prefers Adobe Firefly, so it's I understand it's personal preference what everybody likes. So that is why in the beginning I said you should use all the tools that they are use do all the free trials, as many free trials as you can, so that you can get your head around what each tool can do. And the answer to the question, like what AI tool do I use? I use like multiple tools just to get one output. Like even for this, I use ChatGPT to code, and then I use Midjourney for my final nice rendering output. So you are all not always using one AI tool. You are always jumping around in multiple tools to get the specific output you want.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I feel like you just took me
Yeah.
from super easy image generation to
Yeah.
coding, and I'm like, whoa, my
Yeah.
mind is blown.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
incredible. I'm gonna have to experiment with this coding thing because I've never seen that before. You just showed it, so that's
Yeah.
very amazing.
Yeah, I think architects should try coding because it gives you a lot more control. And I know there are people in my office and they're the new students, they are very good at Grasshopper. But I think this is a good alternative to Grasshopper. You just write some text, it's generating all those parameters for you. You can add parameters, you can take them out. Just tell ChatGPT what you want and it will do it for you. You don't have to spend hours learning Grasshopper. You can just do it like this. And you don't need very strong computer or very expensive Rhino softwares. It's all for free. Like everybody uses ChatGPT for free. So you can do it all for free. So I think that's the most amazing thing for me.
Whoa. That was incredible. Thank you so much for your time and just showing all
Yeah.
that. I think it's you should definitely follow Hamza's LinkedIn because every day there's something new to see. Every day
Yeah.
there's a
Thank you
new
very much,
AI.
Maria.
I really appreciate it. I'll definitely be staying in touch and keep following you and see everything you do because that is incredible. And also, if maybe you have any recommendations for guests that can teach me Comfy UI, I would be super interested in learning that. Or maybe you know any specialists in the field that are really good at it.
I know a few people. I can tell I
Yeah,
can
you can
recommend.
text it to me later,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah,
I
definitely.
would be super interested because I've tried and I failed to even download it. So,
Now
uh,
I spent some time on Comfy UI. I was able to do some basic stuff, but I know people have done some amazing stuff using Comfy UI, but it's a bit too dry for me because
really,
I'm
okay.
architect. I like some visual image. I'm more visual person, so it was a bit dry. Like, and it takes so much time to download all the different nodes it want.
Yeah, I
And
saw.
in the end, I had a render. I was able to change it from a basic render to look like a night render. And I was like, oh,
Mhm.
D5 can do that. Why did I spend so much time on it?
No.
So, but then Comfy UI also allows to you to change the images you have generated to a 3D Rhino model. And I've seen some people do that. And I don't know how accurate those models are, but you can generate images here and you can use Comfy UI. It's called Hunyan 3D, I think, Hunyan. You can use it to change to get a 3D Rhino massing form of your images you're generating. So I think there are few like there are good things you can do with Comfy UI. It gives you a lot more control, but I think it's slightly more complicated to
I
learn.
need someone smarter than me to explain this
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me for
I,
1 hour,
I
just
know
like you just did.
yeah. So I know a lot of people who use Comfy UI, so I can suggest you their names. You can probably, when you invite them, probably I'll join in as well.
Amazing, please.
Yeah,
Well, thank you
awesome.
so much. Guys,
Thank you, Maria.
don't leave yet because now I might not be as smart or as versatile with all of this, but I will show you my highly requested AI workflow that I use for studio work. So I think maybe that's interesting to some students, also like from the European countries, maybe because I'm going to
Hmm.
use this Rhino 2D5 workflow with the AI enhancer that's been going
Hmm.
around. So yeah, just stay ahead and thank you, Hamza. We're very
Yeah, thank
appreciative
you
of
very
you
much,
taking your
Maria.
time. Incredible.
Thank you.
Please follow
Thank you
him,
for
and
having me.
that was incredible. I'm so
Yeah, thank
grateful
you.
for all these cool professionals that joined this workshop. But I think
Yeah.
if we can, I'm going to go right ahead and go back to my presentation just so we can see what we're working with. So right now we obviously had the amazing presentation by Hamza, but now what is interesting is to talk about like AI in my architecture workflow because I've last time I did these workshops, I've been always like exploring one specific tool, like either Midjourney, Adobe Firefly, something else. And people have been like, okay, Maria, but how do you like actually work this thing? Like how do you go from nothing to something? And today I'm gonna tell you just that. I'm gonna try to keep it short so everyone can screenshot, work along, and we can have a good time. So, uh, like, let's bring it back to your laptop. Like, let's actually talk like, uh, how can we use AI in real projects? Like, obviously, I'm talking studio projects, they're not real projects. But if you're a student, if you have stuff to do, you're in a time crunch, and you don't want to just keep submitting bad renders and taking hours to perfect something that will be changed anyways. I think we can talk together now about how I do it and how I use AI in my workflow. So let me just close this for 1 second. So let's talk about maybe like what even brought me to starting using AI. So it obviously started with frustration because I always felt like I have really good concepts, I have great ideas, but the rendering takes hours because you need to create 3D model first, then you need to render it. And I feel like I always want to show like the render in the beginning already. And to me, this whole long process was not really convincing. So I decided to try using AI to like add mood and like it says here like save time and just communicate easier. And basically it helped me achieve all three and now it's like part of my workflow. So here's my personal tool stack. Maybe you can screenshot this if you're interested in what I use on a day-to-day basis in the studio. But what I use is Rhino for modeling. You can also use SketchUp, but I'm a Rhino girly, so I'm going to talk about Rhino today. I use D5 for rendering because it's my preferred software. D5, please sponsor me. No, I'm kidding. I use D5 AI Enhancer for the realism to add like textures. That's what also our guest was talking about. Hamza, he said D5 is really good, and I agree. I will show you today. Also, I use Photoshop and Firefly if needed. if I want to like generate an image really fast, I will use Firefly, but it's not like perfect for details, so we're not going to talk about that. And obviously, I have ChatGPT Pro. I've been talking about this. I love ChatGPT Pro, and I use it for text and also like feedback on my AI renders. So I also wanted to mention what I don't use. I don't use AI to create like crazy complicated generations. I just use it to visualize ideas. And I don't let AI design for me usually. So I have a 3D model base, I have a sketch base, and then I use AI to visualize that. You know, obviously we now learned that you can also do forms in AI. I will have to try that. But when I was creating this presentation, all I was using is like visualizing my ideas with AI. So let's talk workflow. Here's the actual workflow that I do, and the workflow I use to create my AI renders. So I always start with my model in Rhino. I set camera views, then I render in D5, I enhance, and then I might go back in with Photoshop, but usually I skip that step because why? And then I place it into layout. And basically, if you follow this, you should be good. And I'm going to show you how I do all that in a second. Especially also when you are just starting out. I think it's important to show this. But that's why I created this case study. So what we're going to do is I have a glass pavilion we did from the fourth semester, I think. And I'm going to use my Rhino model and then import it into D5 and show you how to use the AI enhancer. And then if we have time, I'm going to go into Photoshop and then it's basically done. So let us proceed. So here you go. Here you can see now my 3D model. This is just my fourth semester project. In case you're curious what this is, you can look at it on my channel or also on my LinkedIn. I have the specific folder for this project. But what it is basically a glass pavilion type thing with stuff inside. And it doesn't really matter what the project is. The most important thing is for us, is to have a 3D model to pick a good perspective. So I already picked a perspective for D5, so I'm not going to do this again, but I just want to show you guys is what you do is you go into your view. You have these four modes in Rhino. You have the here I have the perspective at the bottom, but usually your perspective is here. And you go here and you select a view that is good from like a human perspective because D5 is helpful for creating those like if you're a human looking at a building, that's what you basically want to see. So I go in here and then I export this view or any view I like. I think I exported this view before. And then what I do is I go into D5. You can't see my screen. 1 second. 1 second. Let's see. Where let me reshare this thing before we get confused here. Okay, here you go. So this is D5. Welcome to D5. You just have to log in basically. But when you log in, you have your 3D model imported. So I just import, I don't have D5 Pro right now, but you can just pretend. I import my 3D model and then it's here as like an object. And what I do is I select a part I want to render. So for example, like, oh, I really like this part. I want to render it. And then what you do is you have different customizations here. So you can do sunlight intensity. You can make it night. You can make it, I have it set to morning. I think I had it. You can change the disk radius, you can bigger, smaller, altitude, different stuff like that. You can change the amount of clouds. I usually prefer like a little bit cloudy. You can add fog. Always cool. Why not? Who doesn't like fog? And then you can like add water, puddles, whatever you want, guys. It's very cool for like creating different weather effects. Like I like D5 for that. If your model doesn't have any materials yet, my materials just transferred from Rhino, but you have these sections at the top here. I think this one is for materials. I'm already in the rendering, so I can't. Oh no, maybe I can. You can add particles, so you can add people, and then I think it was this one. No. Okay, I'm not, I don't have Pro right now, but you will be able to add like people and stuff like that, but that's not really the point. What I wanted to show you guys is how can you now go from this to a really cool render? And what you have to do is you go here, you click on the camera, and then you select what kind of render you want. So I already have it set to what I want. I would set to say, let's say 6K. It doesn't really matter. They're all really good at export. If you want it faster, set it to like 4K or 2K. I'm actually gonna do 2K so we don't waste time. And then you just click render. And I'm gonna save it. And then it's gonna start rendering. So it doesn't really take long. Usually my renders take like 10 seconds. Let's wait for 1 second while it renders. But yeah, AI is really good for enhancing your renders, creating renders. It's my go-to tool right now because like I also have tried Lumion and other softwares, but nothing is quite as like intuitive, at least to me, as D5 is. And that's why I use it. So while this renders, if you have any questions so far, you can ask them in the chat. But I'm just gonna wait until it finishes rendering so I can show you guys. Let's see. Because I have like added new materials, now it's gonna like before when I was preparing for this workshop, it took literally like 6 seconds to render. Now since I fixed some stuff, I added the water makes it like take a little bit longer. But it's almost done. So, and yeah, D5 is not free. As far as I know, you can I think you get like student discounts if I'm not mistaken, but you have to pay for it, especially for D5 Pro if you want to add materials. Not materials, but if you want to add like people, trees, those are all in D5 Pro. I don't remember how much it costs to be honest, but you should be able to find it on the website. And then just check. Okay, so we're almost done. Now here you will be, it says AI post-processing, so you click this. And now you have that. And then over here you have this different panel of stuff you can do. You can either AI enhance just your original render, or you can AI style transfer. So AI enhance will just make your image better. So I have it set to 0.7. I think that's the base. But if you want it to be like crazy AI enhanced, you can set it to 1. I actually will set it to 1, just for everyone to see what it does. And what the AI enhancer is for, it basically makes all textures and parts of your render look more realistic. That's why it's created. So I'm just gonna give it 1 sec to do this. And then there's also the AI style transfer, which you can pick stylized or realistic and then transfer different styles to your AI model. Like let's for example do night. That's gonna be our second one. So now we're doing just the enhancement and we're doing the style transfer. But our basic render is like just basic. I tried experimenting with this before, like I just took a basic render and added watercolor, for example. I also did like interior renders. I added like a Minecraft type thing, which was super cool. At least for me, it was interesting because, you know, what architect doesn't play Minecraft? You can also do night. Like this is, it can do a lot of stuff. Like you can see all my renders have been done in AI. And then here are my source images. So as you can see, I always like take an image that is like a more human perspective, and I play around with that. But there's very different styles. I think if you want like a really, the winter one is good. I remember you can also do twice, like different styles. You can pick like winter and Minecraft style, and it will give you a winter Minecraft style, which is really cool. But yeah, I like the night. The last time I did night, it worked really well. You also have like golden hour, which is always nice. And then yeah, that's the difference between these two basically. Obviously, they're like more cartoonish, the stylized ones, but very interesting either way. Yes. So I'm just waiting for it to work. While we wait, I want to show you what AI taught me, just so we don't like waste your time, guys. Basically, what it helped me understand is a lot of like light and mood that is like very top priority for renders rather than the geometry actually, because when you look at a render, you always notice like, oh, where does the light come from? What is the vibe of this render? More so than like the individual parts of the building, at least from my experience. So that is a super cool thing. And also that your details don't really need to be over modeled because AI always adds details anyways. Obviously, they're not the same as maybe what you want in details, but you don't need to create super crazy modeling. And also, like good visuals are always important for better communication. At studio or just with your friends, just showing concepts, I think it's really good. And also, like, I've heard this thing like AI is cheating. I don't really think it's cheating because the design is still like mine. At least I always create the design first. The choices that I tell the AI to do are also mine, and the AI is just there to like enhance everything I give to it and like make it better. And before we go into prompts, I want to check on my D5 render. It's taking a while, but maybe I can show you guys what I was doing before. So this is already like an enhanced one. So do you see here it was before and here's after. So it added like different features. It just makes it look like better. It added reflections. So that's what the enhancer basically does. But let me see. Uh, let's go back to this. So also, people have been asking about like, okay, Maria, but what prompts do you actually use? Like, what is the thing I should use? I always recommend, at least for like visualization AI, to be as specific as you can with the atmosphere. So don't go into this like 8K ultra 3D. Like I've tried this, and for me, it didn't lead to really good results. You can set this 8K anyways in Midjourney and other AIs. But what AI needs to understand is the atmosphere. So what are your materials? Who's it inspired by, like shadows, morning light, everything. And then when you have your AI input, the way you can go to presentations is to always remember to crop intentionally. Like if you only like one part of the image, you can always crop out the rest. Always add white space around it and just layer it with diagrams. And then it's like just part of your presentation. You don't need to make it really complicated. And I once had a real like studio crit experience where I showed some enhanced renders to show like different moods and styles and the ideas we had. And there was like no layout, there was just like big visuals, and we didn't really get time to explain it, or I didn't. And what I heard is, "Oh, okay, I understand." And then this led to the idea being understood way more easily. And that's when I basically knew that this is a good thing. So also about like ChatGPT for architecture. Mentioned in the beginning that I ask it to like help me reflect on my concepts and stuff. And sometimes I ask it to, can you rewrite this text for design jury so like I can present it better? Or what are some spatial metaphors that I can use? Or can you describe this layout? Just stuff that will help me phrase my concept better. And that is just makes my own thinking way easier. And then what's stress for me is just since using AI, I can like iterate more. I obviously stress less about the visualizations, and it really helps with explaining better. For me, it's all about having this like creative control. So when that's why I really want to learn Comfy UI because I feel like that's where you get the maximum control. It's almost like Grasshopper but AI. And just to be honest, what I don't use AI for, I didn't use it to design forms yet. Now that we know this thing that Hamza showed, I might try. And for me, it doesn't really replace modeling. I don't just copy AI outputs either. I usually go in with Photoshop, and you don't just like generate 30 images and then say, "Oh, I'm done with the concept." It should just help you communicate, basically, not avoid the design. And I think while we're still waiting on the D5, I want to do a prompt cleaning. This has been requested last time when I was doing the workshop. And basically, how this works is you drop your prompts in the chat, and I'll help you write them live, and then we see if it fixed your prompt. I don't know how many people are still in here, I haven't checked. But if you have a prompt that hasn't worked for you or that you have a question about, you can drop it in the chat right now, and we will discuss it. That's something I heard people wanted last time. Or you can always also message me with your prompts. I like to experiment with AI. And it always is very interesting to see like what other people are struggling with AI. I'm just gonna check in on our D5 because I don't know what's going on here. But this is the Minecraft render. Like it's you see what it's doing. It's like it fully turned it into AI. So this is D5, guys. I really recommend it. Honestly, I'm not paid by D5, sadly, to say this, but I think I think if nobody has a prompt like ready to hand, I didn't specify before that I wanted to do this. So just remember, AI is not there to ruin your design. It's not that there to like stop you from being an architect. I think it's a new tool that we have to use, and you can just start experimenting with it. You don't have to be good at AI to begin your AI journey, basically. That's what I want to talk about. So if nobody else has any questions, you can always ask them in the chat. But also you can connect with me. You're probably here because you found no follow me on Instagram, but this is my Instagram handle. Also, again, huge thanks to Hamza for joining us straight from Australia after his busy work day. That is just incredible. The dedication people have to the workshops always surprise me. And I'm
Thank you,
very,
Maria, for having me.
yeah, I'm so
Sorry.
grateful for you. No,
Yeah.
don't worry.
Thank you for
Uh,
having me. Yeah.
I hope you can enjoy your evening now and finally leave
Yeah.
the office after this long
Yeah.
day.
Okay.
No, but this was incredible. So thank you all guys for joining. I will post because the D5 is taking so long now. I'll post the results on my story so you can check it out. And remember to follow Hamza on LinkedIn. He also has an Instagram. I think you also have an Instagram now because you tagged me
Oh,
in
I
something.
just started Instagram just last week
Amazing.
because yeah, yeah. I don't really use
Perfect.
Instagram.
So
Yeah.
I'll take you again. So yeah,
Yeah.
just go ahead, follow us, follow the guests, and thank you all for supporting this workshop. It means a lot to me. I do this for free for all of us. So it's great that people are interested. So yeah, thank you
Yeah.
all. Have a good day. Have a good day.
Thank you,
Good night,
Maria.
Hamza. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bye guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
all.
Bye.